Hi there, Joka here with another beautiful new collection from Spellbinders called This the Season. And I'm showing you 3 cards that I created with these dies. I have, this one is called Christmas Blooms, and it has poinsettias and some pine and a few different leaves and little mini flowers. Then we have a set. This one is called Special Delivery, and it's a car with some presents on the top. This doesn't have so many pieces as the previous one, but it creates a really cute car. Then I have the third set, which is I think it's called Color Block Scenic Scape. It's 3 simple dies with which you can create all kinds of hills or snowbanks or whatever. And then there's this one here. It's a Glimmer hot foil and die set. It's called Mini Christmas Sentiment Strips. And as you can see, there's many Christmas sentiments here. I love these kind of things. If you watched my previous videos, then you know I use these all the time. Okay, so for pattern papers, I usually mix pattern papers with color cardstock lately, but definitely for Christmas especially, I really love pattern papers. And this one here is a Simple Stories collection. I think, I'm not quite sure if it was Winter Cottage or Christmas Cottage. It's from last year, and I love the colors in this collection. So, and also this is my newest Christmas collection. I use my collections so often that some of them I'm quite tired of, after years. But this one I only used once last year, so it's still fresh. Okay, so I'm die cutting. I die cut every piece that I was planning to use, so I'm ready to go. And of course, I'm not showing die cutting in the video because it took ages. And also, I think you know how to die cut, right? Okay, so I'm putting together the little car, and yeah, I have these small pieces die cut from gold cardstock, and if you see here, I have to add the wheels, like half of the wheel on top of that. So to level out that difference there, I added a teeny tiny bit of scrap cardstock just so that the wheels are sitting, or tires are sitting flush to the surface. And then there are these 2 tiny headlights. One of them, the front one, I actually die cut from white just because I didn't want to use yellow in the in this whole color scheme, but I'm not sure white makes much sense. But okay, so now I'm putting together these teeny tiny mini presents. It's actually it's one piece, so it's a stack of presents, and then you get these ribbon kind of thing that you can cut to size, and you can use them or not use them, or use as many strips as you want. It's really all up to you. And then you have like a bow and also a longer ribbon piece that you can attach to create the the look of the whole stack of presents being attached to the car with that ribbon, if that makes sense. I already lost track of what I was saying. Sorry. Okay, I'm putting together the trees. I used 2 different pattern papers for these, just to create different colors there, the darker and the lighter one. And then it's actually a very simple design. I just created 2 snowbanks, and I wanted to add the car and then 2 trees, and that's it. I will come back to it later. I'm kind of working on the cards in parallel. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is normally how I work. When I kind of figured out what I want for design, I just set everything aside and then move on to the next. And then when I have to create the card bases, then, you know, I do all three at the same time. Now, this die set is just a basic circle die set. Excuse me. I'm kind of losing my voice. I did 8 voiceovers today, so I think that's the reason. All right, so this die set has double circles, and one of them cuts, the other one just creates a full stitched line there. You can use them together or separately. It's a versatile set, and it's really a good basic to have in any collection. I use them all the time. All right, so I'm creating the kind of the base of my next card. And, you know, when I have a lot of florals, I often create the same design where I have a circle in the middle, and then I create clusters of flowers, either just at the top or at the bottom, or, you know, or both corners or something like that. I was actually going to create clusters of these Christmas blooms to cover a whole background, but they are actually too big for that. At least what I imagined to create, for that I would have needed smaller leaves and smaller, you know. So in the end, I just went with my good old layout here. And I tried to use as many pattern papers as I could. Now, this bloom that I'm building now, I also used pattern paper for the first one, but then I did change my mind and die cut this again from color cardstock, just so that the flowers stand out better, you know. So the background is pattern paper, the flowers are just one color so that they stand out. And I'm creating the exact same cluster on both sides here. And for my third card, I'm also using these flowers. And yeah, I'm gonna have to glue everything together. This one, I think this one is actually my favorite. It just looks so pretty. I don't know what this flower is called. I'm really bad at names of anything, but especially flowers. As much as I love them, I think I don't know more than 20 flower names. I should be ashamed, I know, but anyway, so this one is my favorite piece, and I die cut. Originally, I die cut 3. And I kind of I use the same 2 colors, but then one of them is darker and the other one has the pink as the main color. But later I will, because at this point I still don't know what I'm actually gonna do for the design. I knew that I want to build a full wreath, but I didn't know how much I will need for that, or how many flowers, you know. So in the end, I will have to die cut some more of that mini bloom thing that I don't know the name of. All right, so I'm trying to create my third background now. So here, when I have a plaid paper, I try to center the pattern. So I'm checking if I need 4¼ inches. I'm gonna try to fit the pattern within that, if that makes sense. So, you know, sometimes it doesn't happen. I kind of eyeball everything, but yeah, sometimes things don't work out that way. But this one is quite all right, I think. And again, I'm going with a circle here in the middle. And there on the left, I already kind of put together what I want to do here. And so I'm using 2 colors of pattern paper for the leaves, and then I'm gluing them down. I think I needed 6 to cover the whole circle. And then I'm going to add some more leaves, a different type, and I'm going to use 6 of those as well. And then I put them color on color, just to, you know, make sure that you can separate those colors. And this is where I realized that 3 of those mini flowers are just not gonna be enough. So I die cut 3 more, so I will have 6 clusters. I have 6 leaves, 6 mini flowers. Only the pine I will have 3 of. And by the way, those pine die cuts, you could fill back the little pieces if you wanted dimension, but honestly, some of them are so small, I already lost them, you know, right after die cutting, so I didn't even try. I just used 2 different pattern, or not pattern. I'm starting to forget what I want to say. 2 different cardstock for that. And I also tried it the other way around, so that the lighter brown or kind of craft color is the outline and the darker is the you know, the inside of it, but I didn't quite like it, so I just went with this. So I'm adding 6 poinsettias and 3 of each color for some variation. And it kind of, I did not plan this, but it's kind of symmetrical, the whole you know, these 6 mini flowers. It makes it look almost like a hexagon. I don't know, but I like how that turned out. I wanted like a circle, really, but I don't mind that it looks like this. All right, so once I glue everything down, I will not have a lot more to add to this card, and I can start working on my other ones as well. So I'm creating a card base for my second card here, and I always create the card base the same way. You see it in all of my videos. I don't know, maybe I should just edit this out since it's all already there. I'm not sure. I always figure there's always new people watching, and then they don't want to go back to older videos. So, you know, if you can just maybe skip that part if you've already seen it a million times. So here are my clusters. Like I said, they are the exact same clusters, and here I'm using a bit more leaves, so there's really several different ones in this die set. I really like it. I mean, I love all floral die sets because you can just you know, you can create so many different designs with them. And I guess I just really love flowers as well. So once I figured out the arrangement that I wanted to go with, I am gluing everything down. And by the way, I have to mention that this glue, I think it's called Barely Art. It's now quite popular. You can buy it at Spellbinders, and I am so happy with it. I didn't think I could love glue this much. I love the one that I used to use, but my most my biggest problem with it was that it dried so fast that there was no chance for me to glue down a bigger like a more intricate like a cover plate, you know, because when I start gluing things, by the time I get to, let's say, the second row of that design, the first row is already dry. And this one is not drying that quickly, so I have more freedom with it. So I absolutely love it. And this is totally besides the point, but anyway, there was nothing really to talk about what I was doing here on the card, because I'm just really gluing everything down. And then, I was really only planning to add 2 of those bigger flowers, but then I don't know, I just keep adding more and more. Once I added the third, it kind of felt off balance of everything. So then I'm adding the fourth, and then again it didn't look right, so I'm adding a next one. I never know where to stop, and then in the end, the clusters are much bigger than I planned, but I guess the more the merrier, I hope. So for this, I used a few different color cardstock. This darkest one, I think it's from an earlier Spellbinders card kit, as far as I remember. I don't think I have, or I don't think they have this color in the new cardstocks. I'm almost certain, but don't quote me on it. So back to my first card. This one is probably the simplest, and this one requires the least amount of time to create for sure, but I still like how that turned out. I don't know, I'm just a sucker for these cards with the ribbons and presents and stuff like that. And I showed you earlier that there is these mini Christmas sentiment strips, Glimmer plates in this collection. And so what I always do, and you could have seen it in some of my videos, is that I foil all of them once. So I will create a lot of different colors and a lot of these panels, so that I always have sentiments on the ready, and I don't have to take my Glimmer machine out every single time, because this is the oldest space that I have for crafting, so I just can't leave it out. Well, some of them didn't quite fit, so I had to redo the longest ones on like a landscape card, if that makes sense. But I actually did this just so that I get 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters for my cards, because the third one I will try for the first time ever. This is what you see here. I will try to foil that snowbank. I was so nervous because I never did this, and then I'm now trying to figure out. I think I actually slowed down the video here. I'm trying to create like a hinge, and with the washi tape, but I've never done this, so I'm not sure I'm doing anything right here. And I added a tiny piece of foil, and I left like a sliver of the foil to get to stick on the washi tape there, so that it stayed in place. And then I'm trying to glue the washi tape down on one of the lines here, just so that I make sure that my sentiment is going to be straight. So I don't know, I hope this all makes sense here. And then I'm putting down the sentiment strip, kind of trying to figure out where I want it. And yeah, and then I let the foil fall on it, and once the platform is ready, I press the cardstock on it. And guess what? I think this is beginner's luck, because it actually is straight and it's perfect. I was so happy, but I mean, normally I don't manage to do things like this, honestly. So yeah, but it just looks so extra special when you know, when the foiling is directly on the background. Or I just always, I don't know, I never dare to try it, because if I mess up something on a background that I spent hours on, you know, I couldn't take that. So I normally just use sentiment strips. But I'm really happy that this worked out. Okay, so now I'm just putting together the card, building my little car together, and then this card is also going to be ready. I know today's videos, all three of them, are quite long, but yeah, I appreciate if you watch all of it. I hope I can give you some ideas. I don't know, a lot of people are afraid of using pattern paper, but you really don't need to, because it's just gonna work out, believe me. And if you're afraid, then mix it with color cardstock and it's still gonna look awesome. So here's my sentiment strips. And I didn't mention before, I have so the two most used foils that I love is the red one. It has a starry design. I don't remember what it's called, but I'm gonna link it in the description box. And a gold one, and especially for Christmas projects, I love the red. The camera is not gonna pick it up, the shine and the color, but it's so gorgeous. And so that's what I used on these cards. And I'm using the coordinating die, even though it's longer than the sentiments I need, but it's very easy to just, you know, trim off the length. But at least it kind of gives you a more professional finish, because the edges are so pretty. But obviously you can just use your trimmer to trim these strips. But then I'm really bad at cutting strips. So I appreciate this die. Okay, so here you have the first one. You see a little bit of the red foil there. It's so beautiful, very elegant. And then the next one as well. Gosh, I'm so in love. I'm sorry, not with the card, but that red foil. And here, my first attempt at foiling onto the panel. I hope you're proud of me. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you check the other two videos as well. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.